Hey guys, Joshua Peterson Electric. Try to do one cool video a week for you. Got a customer out here in Colorado. Really cool garage, cool cars, older style. Wanted to get some lumens set up. This is called a candle meter. So foot candle meter. It's something I've used for about 15 years now. It's good to try to help explain to customers when you have one candle per 1 foot per 1 watt, and that's kind of how a candle started. And how many lumens do you get per watt per square foot? It's really hard to determine. Basically walk into a Costco and it's just blazing bright white. Well, you have engineers that manipulate certain colors just because they don't want your meat looking green when you go to buy it, or your salmon looking green. So point of the matter is that a lot of lights are typically hard to find in residential. They get you a lot of light without putting in a ton of lights and wasting labor and time, that they start to have issues. Keep in mind that a light has a life of what we call a certain amount of time, and then it deprivates and dies. A lot like a vehicle will drive for quite a few and then start losing its gas mileage over time as it ages. Lighting is the same way. High bay lights have always been your big, huge lights with gigantic chains holding them up, maybe in a soccer arena or inside of a Walmart, and they'd have a metal halide. And so when those start having issues, they turn pink and they deprivate at usually 15 to 18 to 20,000 hours, but then they start turning off to cool down and turning back on, and it needs a new striker or a certain kit. So what's nice about LEDs, it doesn't do that. Now these lights are a little bit more higher end of a commercial than a residential type, but I've found a way to finally manipulate them in a 9-foot garage. In an 8-foot garage, a little tricky, but 9 foot to 10 foot is perfect. I can get them up there if you have a 14, 15-foot garage with some jack chain. I like it a lot better. But these were, I was actually able to get it in the same opening. So what he had was a keyless in there. And you're all familiar with a keyless with an A19 screw-in, 60-watt light bulb, 100-watt light bulb. I was not getting a lot of lumen whatsoever. So if I put on this meter, and my natural sunlight is going to cheat for me today, and I'm getting, look at that, about 48 to 57 as I'm standing here. And really what's giving me more light than anything are these little teeny garage lights that are RF'd off of these direct driven LiftMasters. So those are pretty sweet lights. They plug in and they're communicated, and there's really no low voltage wires that I can see unless they're wiring up into the attic and down. But anyway, so that's giving me about 80 to 90 to 103 right there, so that's not bad. But as I get over to here, and you know, at night, this is going to be the best test. Back in here in the corner, way over here in the shadow, I'm at 25, 30, 29, okay? So this right here is just trying to say, what does that look like? Now these are typically about 220 watts per fixture, okay, at 120 volt rated. So divide that out, you're gonna be, oh gosh, what is that? 20 amps? No, I'm so sorry here, 2 amps. Not a lot of amperage right there, okay? I'm gonna turn these guys on, and they will probably blind the phone. Now look at this. I'm way over here at the edge of the door. This thing bounces out at 200 and says I can't even, 200 candles, I can't even register it, right? So as I move into about 3.5 foot to 4 foot to the edge, boom, infinite, done. And I'm past 200. The only time that happens is when I'm in a sunroom in a house and the sun is on the south side facing. But right down here, even at the lowest point, look at how much that light is just penetrating to the floor. 200 right there. So I can see that line coming up, that these lights are that strong, hitting at 9 foot all the way down, and you can see that. But back here on that wall, where was I getting that shadow with this? Look at that. I was at 30. I'm at 103. Okay, that's the only way I can describe to you the intensity of the light. So again, it's 220 watts, that's true, but these things are rated at probably close to 2,000 lumen. So when you're looking at that, like a normal screw-in light bulb, like a Helco can, it might have 560 or 760 lumens, and it's equivalent to a 70-watt light bulb, but that just means the intensity of it. So if the light is in a cooler color, we call it the moon, that's a 4kW, right? That is going to be more intense than your warm type fixture. These do not come in warm. They're typically set up for an airplane hangar or a garage or a mechanic. But as you can see, Even this light to the side of him, when these doors are shut at night, I'm going to get that same protruding light to about right here. Now, if he says, hey, you know, this is really dull, I can come over here and turn one horizontal. I bet you I could get that thing right up close to that ceiling, and the garage goes, and when it shuts, it won't hit it. And then I could get this whole side with one fixture completely lit as well. And just, this is an attic above, so I can go up there and, you know, crawl and pop a wire and it'd be all, it would look nice with no conduit whatsoever. And then, so the other thing to keep in mind when you're hanging these guys, it is a little tricky. You're trying to find studs up there, but I use 2 lasers. I like to laser it all the way down and make sure my measurement from here to the edge of the first fixture is the same from that wall to down here. And then on this one, I like to laser it all the way down and make sure those fixtures line up perfect. And over here, of course, my truss has changed at the back side, and I had to kind of move that around a little bit, but it did line up perfect this way and down the bays that way. I did use their hangers they gave me, but I used some lags that were 7/16, about 2 inches. One had to be 4 inches because there was some extra drywall there down that side for some reason. But I was able to do fender washer, and then I used their hook. And then I put an RC50 connector on both ends and then drilled the round plates, and over there I had a single gang plate. So as you can see, what a great way to light the garage. It is going to be better than buying a bunch of small ones for 50 bucks because, again, even if you stagger them, they all don't line up straight, and then you're using more extension cords, and then you're cutting in more outlets, where really you can just use 3 and intensify that area. At night, I wish I could show you guys that video. It would be really neat to see. I'll probably just have him text me tonight when he gets time and just boom, see how lit that garage will look. Anyways, thanks for joining us, guys. As far as the fixtures go, I like to use Halco. They're one of the best brands that I have found for my high bay looking lights, but you can go with other brands. Rab makes some really good fixtures too, but again, you want to look at that driver if it's a multi-sensing design. These are designed that I don't have to worry about it at 208, 277, or 120 volt. It just takes a neutral and a hot and a ground to take care of it. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Have a good week.